Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Streaming December 12th on Peacock. Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie are back
That's hot. Loves it.
for a show-stopping reunion that will prove putting on an opera is anything but simple.
We're really good at this.
One thing's for sure, they won't be upstaged.
Good to have you back. Come on, we've got a show to do.
Paris and Nicole, The Encore, a 3-part reunion special, streaming December 12th, only on Peacock.
Let's hang out. And let's talk about what legends have found. Let's hang out. And let's listen to two lesbians shout. Let's hang out. Let's hang out.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Hang Out. I'm Ellie Brigida.
And I'm Lee Holmes Foster, and here's what's happening this week.
This week in the Lesdom.
This Week in the Lesdom is a place where we can touch base each episode about things going on with the podcast or otherwise. And this year we want to talk to you all about our Season 5 Patreon campaign. We are so excited. We're doing a huge Patreon campaign. There's all kinds of perks that will be unlocked at every level, including a new bonus episode segment that Lee and I would love to tell you about. We're going to be doing some, I don't want to call them Lesentials.
We should come up with a name for them.
What should we call them?
I don't know. We'll think of something. We just want to talk about more gay movies and characters and gay shit. That's all.
And a lot of people have been asking us to do some older lesbian movies because there's so much new lesbian rap that we really love. We figured the best place to do some of the older stuff where we can talk about, for example, Kissing Jessica Stein, which I hate but would love to talk about. We're going to be talking about that once a month on our Patreon once we hit 150 patrons. So help us get there so that we can start releasing more content for all of you. We're excited.
We also have some other fun stuff coming up, even though less fun for me, but like, fine, everyone else is going to be at Klexicon. Rub it in, Ellie.
I won't. I'm sad that you're not there.
I know. I'm sad too. But we are going to have a lot of the team behind Let's Hang Out and The Flame at Klexicon. So Ellie will be there. Our production assistant, Kristen, will be there. Caitlin and Valerie will be there to talk about The Flame. So I hope all of you who are going to have a great time. Those of us who will be there in spirit will be having a slightly less great time, but we're going to try our best. So that's going to be
you so much, Lee.
I know. October 8th to October 10th, I will just be sitting at home sad, missing everyone.
I know.
But everyone else should have fun at Klexicon.
And they did just release some new COVID protocols. So if anyone is concerned about that, which I'm sure we all are, you can check out what their COVID protocols are going to be. You have to be vaccinated. And I believe if you're not vaccinated, negative tests within 72 hours, masks indoors at all times. So they're doing a lot more to keep us safe as much as they can. So that's really important as well. In the greater Les universe, I'm very excited to talk about this.
Whew, I'm like fanning myself already.
Bridget Regan has been cast as Poison Ivy in the Batwoman series.
Hot damn.
I love Jane the Virgin. She was such an incredible villain on that because I was so attracted to her and I was like, God damn you. And I don't think I'm going to be able to handle her as Poison Ivy.
She's going to crush it. And I think like lesbians will die.
Yeah.
Like in droves, I think is what's going to happen.
I agree. So thank you, Bridget, for giving us this gift. So excited. I'll also talk about this next one because Sex Education has a new season out. Lee, have you seen Sex Education?
I haven't yet. Listen, it's on my list. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
It is a great show. I love it a lot, and I'm very excited to be watching the new season. There's some really good queer rep. There's also it's just a great show. I love even the straight characters on that, and that means it's a good show, you know?
That tells you something.
Right?
Listen, other shows that I haven't watched include iCarly, but did I go and watch the Harper and Double Dutch kiss scene? Yes, I did.
Oof.
Because that's how I roll. whether or not I have time to watch the full like show or movie of something, I'm always going to go watch the sapphic content. So, yes, the finale of the iCarly reboot new season didn't end on, but like included a lesbian kiss. And it was so cute because it was also like that. It was very like fanficky, right? Where it's like, I think Harper and Double Dutch is like the pop star that she works for. And they're like, oh, we have feelings for each other, but we shouldn't act on them because a professional relationship. And so we will just like hide our feelings. And then they're both like, yep. And then immediately shove their tongues down each other's throats. And I'm like, yes.
I'm here for that.
Hashtag relatable. Love it. Super tropey, and it was very cute. And I enjoyed it.
I love it. I'll have to watch that after we wrap recording right now.
There you go. That's what's happening this week. Back to you, Ellie and Lee.
Thanks, Ellie and Lee, and welcome to our 67th installment of Should Have Been Gay.
Oh, it was fun, it was great, but it should have been a little more gay.
And in this week's episode, we finally found a virgin to sacrifice.
Yes! Wait, which one? Which one of us is?
I'm gonna leave that up to the viewer's discretion.
I'm also so mad you didn't read my second one, which is my favorite, which is
I did read it. I wanted this one.
Oh, we know lots of lesbians, hairy and not hairy, but we don't mean to brag. And we are here with Sarah Kennedy, who is a stand-up comedian and writer. She's been featured on The Today Show and MTV, and is always looking for a way to cheer people up and keep them laughing. Thank you so much for joining us, Sarah.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to talk about this movie.
We are very, very excited.
I kind of am too, although I'm like not sure. I'm not totally sure, but I think I'm excited.
I think you should be. So let's talk. We're talking about House Bunny. Let's do our IMDb synopsis. Are you ready, Lee?
I'm so ready. Okay, the IMDb synopsis for House Bunny is as follows. After Playboy Bunny Shelley is kicked out of the Playboy Mansion, she finds a job as the house mother for a sorority full of socially awkward girls. And look, as far as our IMDb synopses go,
it's pretty solid. It is pretty accurate. So,
right?
Sarah, what's your gay synopsis? Though I mean, the IMDb synopsis is fine, but what's our gay synopsis for this film?
A woman who has been horribly oppressed throughout her entire career has to go impose this compulsive heterosexuality on a group of perfectly fine queer girls living in a communal situation.
Yes, very accurate. I'm gonna read mine because I feel like it's a bit similar as well. Sure. Zeta, the gayest sorority on campus, pretends to be straight to save their house. Then they remember and embrace that they're gay and become the most popular lesbian sorority on campus. Everyone's happy. That's it. It's a happy ending, everyone.
That's fair.
A very gay ending. All right, Lee, what's your synopsis?
Here's my gay synopsis for this movie is, did anyone else not see Kat Dennings for the first half of the movie?
Yes.
Like, I don't understand. Giant lesbian Mona is in a sorority.
Even the second half,
that's it.
I'm just like, she literally just went from like butch to femme.
Yeah.
That's the only shift. Yes. So, Sarah, you feel very passionately about House Bunny. So why don't you tell us, what's your experience with this beautiful film?
So I saw it, I think I bought a Roku for a TV that I had that beforehand only had like an antenna.
Amazing.
Oh, wow.
It should be noted, we did talk about this before the show started, that it came out in 2008. So
which like
this is
shook me to my core.
Yeah. So so I hooked up my Amazon Prime to it, and then I saw this movie for the first time, just being like, oh, I like every actress and reality star starring in this movie. I'm willing to like take a chance on this. And then the whole time I was like, oh man, what is happening here? Like, why do they have? Because first off, Kat Dennings having Shane from the L Word hair was really sold me.
Yes, thank you.
But then you come for the Shane hair and you stay for the Emma Stone being like such a it's just so queer coded to me. I just seemed like, and then I shipped her and Shelley. Like I really kind of thought that maybe that was what was supposed to be happening. And then since then, there's been no fandom ship of this couple or this movie, really. I think I've looked up on I did when I did this presentation one time about House Bunny and how I thought it was gay. I looked up on fanfiction.net and An Archive of Our Own, and there was no fanfiction.
There's nothing? Wow.
Well, now there's like 2 on An Archive of Our Own and 1 on fanfiction.net, but the fanfiction.net one is in French, so I have no idea.
Oh my god, I'm gonna look it up immediately. Like, immediately.
Do you feel responsible for that? Like, do you think it's you who brought this to life?
Well, I when I did my presentation originally, it was for a show that we used to do in Brooklyn called Queer Film Theory, where we would talk about movies that we thought were intended to be gay, or we'd look at movies through a queer lens. And I did 3 months worth on the House Bunny. Like, I did 3 separate presentations about how I was so convinced, and everybody else had to be convinced. And by the end of these 3 months, there should be at least some fan fiction available. And by the end of that 3 months, nothing. But now. Here we are.
Here we are.
Look,
and you're still spreading that House Bunny gay gospel. Here we are.
Here's the thing that you'd assume should lead to more House Bunny fan fiction is it's one of the few situations where the fan fiction could not be worse than the movie source material that they're working with. I mean, like, there's just not a ton of situations where that's the case, you know?
You're right.
It's like, it's low-hanging fruit right here, so...
So, Lee, I'm curious, is this another film that you had yet to see for the first time?
Listen, I'd never seen it.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Okay. I had a feeling.
Well, no, and so here's what's funny. It's not only that I hadn't ever seen it. When I told Kelsey I had to watch it, because I totally forgot until, like, yesterday that we were recording on this today, and so I was like, crap, I have to watch this movie. So when I told Kelsey, and she was like, what is that? Like, is that... And I was like, House Bunny? Like, I don't know. I was like, who was in it? Like, I feel like I couldn't think of the cast at all, which is surprising because everybody's in it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't know. It's just like, it's, you know, it's House Bunny. And she was like, that could be like anything. Like, that could be like a horror movie, or that could be like a something. And I was like, how could this be a horror movie with the name House Bunny? Like, she's a Playboy bunny. Like, Manicula, the house Manicula. It's just, oh my god, can you imagine if Anna Faris was a vampire in this? That would be amazing.
That'd be incredible.
We'll go down that road later, but no, I'd never seen it. And so what's funny is I tried to explain it while I was trying to look it up, like where I could find it to watch, and I was like, no, I feel like it's like a comedy, like, you know, in the vein of like Legally Blonde, or like that, you know, like that kind of movie, like the feministy, you know, something like look beyond women's appearances, which just made me laugh in hindsight, like watching the movie, because I was like, wow, it's really like, I mean, this came out, what, like 6 or 7 years after Legally Blonde, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's really like if someone was like, let's remake Legally Blonde, but without most of the charm or like the actual like good moral lessons to teach people.
Oh, this is hurting my heart to hear.
I know, to be fair, Lee, I don't know if you realized this, before you logged on, Sarah and I were bonding over our shared love of House Bunny. So you're really like, but to be fair, I always expect this from you. I always know if I love a movie, you're gonna hate it.
I'm just gonna say, when, like, we can talk about why, but like Legally Blonde,
it is a feminist film. Has better messages than, like, I feel like the end result of this movie is like, don't quite be yourself because you suck, but like don't quite be someone else's version of you because like that sucks too. And I'm like, I'm not sure. Yeah, be somewhere in the middle here. Yes.
And so okay, so here is my biggest thing for this movie, is the main reason I think this movie should have been gay is that there are so many ways you could have redeemed all of the storylines in this movie if you had just made them actually queer, instead of what they did, which is to just be like, what's the best way to make yourself what a man wants you to be, which I'm like, I'm not totally sold on that as like the most feminist message we're gonna get across.
That's what the sorority girls had to do. Shelly learns that she can actually tone herself down and not have to do that so much for a dude.
Yeah, I like to look at the fact that these little lesbians taught Shelly how to be more comfortable with herself.
It's like a reverse Mona Lisa smile.
Yes.
If we dig into that, I'm all here for that. I just wish that's the story they had gone with, you know. But anyways, Ellie, tell me your experience with the
I'm
movie.
obsessed with the
Now
film.
that I've come and shit all over everyone's parade, I'm so sorry.
I'm obsessed with the film. I've seen it many, many, many times. Anna Faris is one of my favorite actresses. I don't care. I think she's the funniest person that will ever walk the face of this earth. Anything that she's in, I crack up. Same with Emma Stone.
I love Emma Stone.
The entire I could quote this movie a million times over. Their entire like conversation where she's talking about dressing up the little mouse, like bring your own mouse. Like that whole thing gets me. We could tie our shoes
Abraham
together.
Lincoln mouse.
We could throw them over. Like everything that Emma Stone says, I related pretty hard to Emma Stone in this film because I was like pre-makeover and even post half makeover where she's like you said, somewhere in the middle. I was like, this is me. Like this is this awkward ass gay woman who like just has all of this quirky energy and I love her. So
Okay,
I loved
Ellie,
it.
I have an important question. Can you and I do a cosplay someday as Emma Stone and Kat Dennings at the car wash scene?
Yes.
You have to do it.
And Kat Dennings is like so. I agree with you. Like, okay, but I really think they did a good job with it. This is just my take. But yes, they went way too far to the straight. But there's a whole scene where they're like, why the hell did we do this? Like, there's an entire scene where they're like, this is not us. And they turn into something that they're not. And so I feel like it's a really good example of what happens when you force straightness on people.
Yeah.
Oh, it is absolutely like a comp het like nightmare.
Yes. Yes.
Like example. Like
Yes.
here's the problem with comp het. You take all these lesbians, you stick them in a sorority, you turn them into like Barbie dolls to please all the men around them, and like surprisingly it doesn't go well.
No.
But then they don't realize they're all gay for each other, and that's really where it just
really
was lacking for me.
No, that's really the saddest part of the film is that they don't realize how gay they are.
That's where I was let down, you know?
Yes. So I'm curious, Sarah, since you've done 3 presentations on this film.
I have them pulled up right now.
What are some of your biggest, what are some of your biggest arguments for why the House Bunny should have been gay?
Well, my biggest one really was the idea that I thought that nobody knew how gay it was because nobody had seen it. And I was like, if people had just watched it, then it would be pretty apparent how gay it was.
True.
But I think there's just, part of it and part of them being such awkward girls and having to encounter this like older, sexy lady. I think that there's a lot of moments where they kind of like, and they have kind of like gay panic. A little. Yeah, and so I just thought that was very relatable. And so
the scene where she walks out topless,
yeah.
I mean, that is...
There's literally one
panic.
of the sorority girls is in her vagina.
Mm-hmm.
And she just goes,
the way they shot that is incredible.
Yeah.
Also, Cameron Esposito in 2017 tweeted, Emma Stone was great in The House Bunny. This is a true tweet. And so I thought like, we're getting
it's on the radar. It's out there.
Yeah, it's canon. It's like there's people who are talking about it in a way that is among the culture. And I really appreciated that.
I will say that people have suggested this movie to us. Like our listeners have suggested House Bunny. So people do think it's gay. You're not alone.
Anytime you have a movie that is this focused on like intimate relationships between women, like of course it's gay. And especially when one of those women has her little Shane haircut and her freaking hoodie pulled up and like every part of her pierced. And you're like, come on. That is a full dyke right there. I'm sorry. No question. There's just...
I will also say that the boy love interest is the lead singer of, I think, isn't it All American Rejects? Or like,
yes.
He's like a pop punk singer guy. And the other movie that has one of those is Princess Diaries.
Yes, accurate.
You know what I mean? And Princess Diaries, I feel, is also extremely queer-coded. It's my fiance's favorite movie, and she, every time we watch it, she's always like, and plus Heather Matarazzo's in it, like just like pointing out all these like, gay, queer things about it. So,
well, and look, that's kind of how I feel about this movie and like Rumor Willis, because like, is Rumor Willis actually queer in real life? Because I feel like if she's not, yes, she is.
I heard that was just a rumor.
Oh. Look, I already have the Gay
Hey.
Mafia after me again, so I shouldn't be saying this, but I feel like Rumor Willis is queer culture. Like, is that just fair to say? Like, I feel like when she's in a movie and she's not making out with a woman, I'm just like, I don't understand this. You're chasing after a dude?
Who she was in something where she was gay. 90210.
Yes, she played
Mhm.
she played gay in something. I just don't know if she is in real life. And if I think about it real hard, I would come up with it too, even though I don't have the internet right now. Balls. What
I
was she
think Demi
in?
Lovato, not Demi Lovato, Demi Moore is in a relationship with a woman right now, her mom.
Not surprising.
And yeah, and she's also been in like, Charlie's Angels Full Throttle.
Yeah,
where
which
she had
is
like a
super
real little
gay.
queer baby moment and like all kinds of other little things where she just kind of shows up. G.I. Jane, she like, so it's in the family.
It's a TV show. It's not a movie. It's a TV show.
I already told
she
you what it
played
is.
gay.
It's 90210.
No, no, no.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, that was literally.
I have my headphones super low because I don't want my mic to pick them up. Because
No, it's okay. But I remember in high school when I watched that episode, I was like freaking out. And I was like, oh my God, there's gay things in this thing. And I was quote unquote straight. But I was talking to my gay best friend who was a gay man. And we were like, oh, we love their love. Like, it's so cute. But like, not for me. But like, love it. So I will never forget Rumor Willis in 90210. Don't worry. Do not worry. But yes, let's talk about Mona. So Sarah, what's the evidence for Mona? We said the haircut. What else?
Well, okay, that was the whole second presentation was just about Kat Dennings' character in particular. So Mona in particular has the Shane haircut. She has piercings, which I consider to be a very clear marker of a person who is on the LGBTQ spectrum. The way they dress her and other things, even when she gets as femmy as she gets, sometimes it's never high femme, like in a way that is like camp, basically,
Mhm.
and I really think that is just like a real nice marker, and there's just a whole lot of it that I'm like,
She also deliberately tries to sabotage her friend getting with any boy. Just throwing that
and
out there.
she's the one who's constantly bringing up feminist theory, which is what is lesbian
There's
small talk.
nothing gayer. Also, like
Yeah.
the fact that whenever she speaks to a man, it's purely for research.
Even at the Easter Island Hawaiian party or whatever, like that's
Aztec party.
Yeah, with the Easter Island heads. Yes, like there is no bone in my body that believes that Mona has any interest in any of these men. And I love like the conversation that she has, her and Natalie, where like Natalie basically convinces her to do this thing. And I feel like it's because Mona's in love with Natalie. And Natalie's just like, oh, like it'd be great research. And she's like, all right, well, Natalie, if you think it's a good idea, I guess I'll do it.
the true ship.
She would
Yeah,
do
the
anything
true
for
ship.
her, including like hose down a boy.
I love that whole scene cracks me up when she says, wash the testosterone off your face. Whew! She's so good. She's so good.
Someone's a little jealous, you know? It happens.
She is a feisty queer woman. Also, when she's in the bar,
Oh yeah.
she literally takes a bite out of a man's arm.
Yes. And that's about as interested as we ever see her get in a dude in this movie.
She does a great job. She does a great job.
She's flawless.
What else did you have about Mona since you had a full presentation?
Well, it had to be quick, so it was a lot of recap from week 1, and it was a lot of just look at pictures of Kat Dennings, please, because she's so pretty. Like, there's a lot of that, but like, I don't know. She's just. Have you guys seen a lot of the other stuff that Kat Dennings is in? Like Two Broke Girls, where they always
Yes.
do goofy jokes, and then
It is
like,
also on our list of viewer recommendations for Should Have Been Gay.
it's worth a watch.
She
And,
actually was in something gay. She was in Have you seen Friendsgiving?
No.
It's on Netflix, and she plays a queer woman in it.
Stop it. Oh my god, we'll kick
Is
off
she
this season
single,
with like
or
a
is
Kat
she in,
Dennings
like, a-
power hour.
So she's like a depressed lesbian in it. She's like very recently
That
off a
right?
breakup, and she's like having a rough time at Thanksgiving with her friends, and her friends are trying to set her up with other lesbians. So they like bring in like a bunch of different lesbians to set her up with them during Friendsgiving. But it's great.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah. So if you want to watch it, it's like very silly. It's like a stupid fun. I feel like it's
She's
along
good at
the
that.
veins of like a Hangover Bridesmaids kind of vibe. Very like
Cool.
intense comedy. They like do a lot of drugs, and I don't know. But
Hang on, just
Why
write it down.
don't we?
Friendsgiving.
Can we
Would
go through some of
recommend.
the other characters? Because I feel like we're gonna run out of time, and
I
I
know.
wanna
Sorry.
make sure
Sorry. You're right.
we
You're right.
hit. I want to make sure we hit some of the other ones. So can we talk about? Now I can't have any of my notes in front of me. Who's the one?
Carrie Mae.
Who her first interaction? What?
Carrie Mae.
It's definitely Carrie Mae. When Carrie Mae's first interaction to try to flirt with a dude is to be like, I have to shit. And you're like, yeah, nailed it. That is 100% the actions of someone who is really interested in men. Good job.
God, yeah. I think I blocked her out just because the idea that she was like the masculine of center one in a different way than Mona was. But it's just gross out humor. Like it's just an excuse to have boy jokes come out of like a female face. Really
Here's
upset
the
me.
female Cro-Magnon of the group.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
She literally she lumbers around.
Yeah, she
Like
sure does.
how she walks around a room is like she doesn't walk like a human. She kind of like
Yeah.
weird, full body slink shoulders her way around. Not a straight coded character.
Oh no, Carrie Mae is so gay. Also, the fact that what did she say? The only magic I pulled is trying to stay in college for 9 years, so I don't have to go back to my trailer park. But I think, yep, I can quote this whole movie.
You're doing a great job.
I also think she stayed in college for 9 years so she could stay in this sorority house for longer because she loves being surrounded by all these women because she's a big gay woman. That's all on Carrie
Sold.
Mae. Sold on Carrie
Agreed.
Mae.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. And as we head into Thanksgiving time, I want to start by thanking my wife, Kelsey, who has not only listened to just about every episode of this podcast for 8 seasons now, but who also is the only reason I'm able to make time to record it every week. She takes the kids, gets them dinner, and gets them ready for bed just so that Ellie and I can come on and yell about gay things into each other's faces for an hour. So here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people you're grateful for in your life, including yourself. I've been in therapy for a long time now, and one thing that's so important about therapy is how it teaches you to be more intentional. And being intentional about gratitude and how to show that to the people you appreciate is just one of the many benefits that I've gotten from therapy over the years. If you've been thinking of starting therapy, consider giving BetterHelp a try. I know how hard it can be to find time for regular therapy, and BetterHelp is designed to be flexible and convenient for your schedule. You can fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you want to start being more intentional about gratitude in your life, visit betterhelp.com/leshangout today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/leshangout.
Let's hang out.
You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm. For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Let's talk about Shelly, because you said you ship Shelly and Natalie. So talk to us about
Yeah.
that.
Well, I think it's one of those things where if your only experience as an adult was living in the Playboy Mansion, I think you would have your reality is just filtered through something that you've never experienced before. And so I think through meeting Natalie, she actually unlocks a lot of who she truly is. And there, like that moment, the bring your own mouse moment is really one of my favorite ones, because it really feels like they're connecting and they're both going like, whoa, hey, whoa. And then out of it, they get like a little bit further. And then again, with the Aztec party, I think there's also a moment there where, like Emma Stone gets to still be smart a little bit because she gets to go, these are Easter Island standards. But then she kind of gets out of her comfort zone again because Shelley is willing to like guide her in like a really loving way, I think, with the only knowledge that she knows. And so I don't know, I just felt like there was just, and then again with the topless scene and all that stuff, like that all happens between mostly Natalie and
Always
Shelley.
comes back to the topless scene.
And then
Yes.
they I think Natalie helps her get ready for her date with Colin Hanks. And I just think that that's all very sweet and very like subtexty. And I appreciate
Oh
it.
yeah. It's also like, again, the dangers of comp het is like when you grow up in an environment that is entirely about the male gaze, like of course you haven't realized how very gay you are because you've just like that hasn't really existed in your world yet. And then she finds this space that's like so much less superficial and so much less like focused on dressing themselves up for the boys and being what the boys want them to be. And and it's like she desperately wants to stay there even though she is kind of like destroying it by bringing her own like comp het rule book into it, and then is like, oh no, what have I done? And you're like, yes, they're not straight indeed. Correct, to put them back the way they were.
Put them back. But also it's one of those things too where it's like I bet she was probably drawn to the Playboy Mansion outside of the parties and that kind of stuff because it truly is like a sorority. It's a female-oriented communal living space that just sometimes you've got to the toll you pay to live there is that you've got to like put on for the boys. And so I really wonder if that, like there's just, you see that a lot in like real life and like places like strip clubs and stuff like that. Almost like there's a lot of people who work in strip clubs that are queer and find a lot of empowerment in being able to do what they do and that kind of stuff. And so I think there's just a lot. There's so much to unpack in this movie.
There's so
3
much.
months worth, I would say.
Sorry, while we talk about the house, can I make a real quick note to just say that her most beloved thing while she's at the house is a cat whose only job in the movie is to claw the shit out of a dude. Okay, sorry. Just
Yeah,
I want to
yeah,
make sure we get that in. Okay.
Oh, we
That's
have to
very
talk
important.
about Pooter. Also, his name is Pooter.
It's like a coded name too,
It's
right?
literally
Like,
Pooter. But I also think, like, she has this whole like monologue where she's like, "Oh, I loved having time with my girls when we would, get manicures and whatever and go down on each other and blah blah blah." And you're like, "Wait, what?" Like, and you're like, "Oh, like that like there were plenty of times when there were no men around when all these women were like, let's just sleep with each other."
look, Hugh's only one man.
Exactly.
That's true.
I'm like, there's one man in this entire house, and you're gonna think they're having a sex party where they just like stand in line.
Yeah.
No. No.
Everybody, wait your turn. There's
No.
a little ticket at the front of the queue.
Yeah. So I think she already had some experience. It just took like the emotional experience. Let's talk a little bit about Oliver,
Yes.
because Oliver is a stand-in if I've ever seen a freaking stand-in. Like, he is a lesbian. Shelley even says he's gay because he's emotionally available. Like, but I'm like, literally, she's only been dating these like super straight men. And if you just imagine Oliver as a lesbian, she like goes on her first date with someone she really likes who is a lesbian. And that lesbian's like, "Hey, I
Wait,
actually
is he a lesbian,
just
Ellie?
yeah. Hey, I actually just want to get to know you." And she's like, "What? Someone
What?
wants to talk to me?"
It's like every late bloomer on their first date with a woman.
Yes. Like that date was gay panic.
Yes.
If you just set it to the score of Carol, it'd be like a drama.
Yes.
Full lesbian drama. And she sits on the manhole.
My old people flung out of space.
I mean, like he's like such a soft man. So I'm just like, yeah, he is a stand-in, and like their relationship is a lesbian relationship. Like that's her like learning how to like love in a non-heteronormative relationship. And it's beautiful. I also want to honorable mention before we have to wrap up Mrs. Hagstrom.
Yes.
I just feel like she is too obsessed with Shelley. Like in a way that's like, and I feel like she's so obsessed with like being the house mother. I feel like she's like this established queer who's like, "No, this is my queer space and you can't be in it." And then she's like, "But we can sleep together later." Like that's what I feel like Mrs. Hagstrom is.
I'm gonna say salty old dyke. Like that's the vibe. That's what we've got here.
100%.
It's the lady who ran True Directions from But I'm a Cheerleader level of like
Yes.
hardcore authority to like push up.
Exactly. Like you are pushing way too hard. Like you are trying to have everyone think you're something. And I'm like, but
Can
are
we
you?
also talk about, sorry, while we're doing honorable mentions, can we also honorable mention not Ashley, what's the other, like the sidekick?
Yes, the sidekick is so gay. That's why she joins Zeta at the end.
Very gay. And then at the end she's like, "Actually, I want to be in the gay house." And then she joins the gay house and she's like, "Oh my god, it's so cute and gay here. I love it. Let's all go upstairs right away." And I was like, wow. Like wasted no time, huh?
So true. So what characters are we shipping? Did we miss any of the characters in the sorority? Hold on. Harmony, what do we think of Harmony?
Is she the one who's pregnant?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's kind of amazing. It's very much like when Bet and Tina are trying to have a baby, and then everybody's like, "We're gonna raise it like in a village." Like,
Yes.
That is a communal baby. Yes. Very queer thing to do, to raise a communal baby. What about Lily?
is Lily
Gay.
She literally lives her life in a closet.
Chaotic
Yes, oh,
bisexual.
right.
That's
Yep,
what I'm
exactly.
going with.
That was in my other presentation too. In the closet, literally.
Literally in the closet.
The mean young girl who makes them sing that awful karaoke song and changes all the words.
Yes.
I don't know. She's just a bad guy. She's just a
Pressed?
Yeah, I don't want.
Are we just gonna
We don't
say
want
pressed?
her.
We'll say pressed.
We don't want her.
Yeah.
Listen, I wish we had more time because I feel like we could do a whole deep dive on like the whole coded message of like hiding who you are and like masking and like like trying to like straight pass to get through life and all this stuff because like there's a lot There's a lot in there. I
Mhm.
wish I like that's where that's where I wish the movie had focused there. It's like every time people tell these stories where they're like, "Oh, people can love you just for who you are and you don't have to pretend to be something that you're not. And it's okay if you're just kind of quirky and gay and like a little like, weird and like different and gay." And you're like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
movie, that's right."
It's okay if
It's
you're gay.
okay. But yeah, let's talk about our ships, please, because there's so many.
Yeah, so what's your top ship of this film, Sarah?
Oh, Natalie and Shelley. I just really still, and I'm gonna keep tabs on the fan fiction involved because there's more of a real life fandom for the shipping of Emma Stone with Taylor Swift in real life than there is for these two fictional characters that clearly have chemistry.
Oh my
Come on.
god. I
Come on,
love it.
Swifties. Watch House Bunny. And what's their ship name?
Natalie.
Natalie.
Aw,
That's a cute
that's
one. You can't get
pretty.
better than that.
No, I know that's gonna make it hard because I'm gonna say my top ship is still Natalie and Mona, but I don't
Ship
know that it's
name?
gonna be as cute. Mona Lee.
Mona Lee.
Mona Lee.
That's cute.
Yeah, Natalie is a good one to make
Natalona.
ship names with. Natalona.
Natona.
Those are good. I'm going to ship Shelley and Mrs. Hagstrom.
Yes,
And they're
do it.
Hagley. I just like that her name literally has hag in it. Yeah.
Wait, what's Rumor Willis's character? I want to ship her and Harmony.
Joanne.
Ooh.
Joanne. I ship her and Harmony.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. Okay,
I
Joanne and
just feel like
Harmony.
they
What's
could
their
form
ship
a beautiful family together.
Oh.
They would be really sweet together, yeah. I could see it. There's honestly the ships are endless in this because there's so many options. This whole sorority could just be dating each other.
Yeah, and gender swap
you could
Oliver
just
with
make-
Shelley, obviously.
Yes.
You can just make the L word map out of just the sorority girls. Just draw lines anywhere and you're fine.
To be fair, also I'm like, we're started doing this episode all about sororities. I haven't even talked about how I was in a sorority, but it reminds me of my sorority. They literally called us, we were Alpha Sigma Alpha, ASA, and we were called on campus Gay SA. And proudly, it wasn't like they weren't bullying us. Like we were like, yeah, we're gay. Like we were Gay SA. It was great. Yeah. And the chart was real within the sorority. That's all I'm going to say. Some of them are still dating each other.
So what you're saying is Zeta should be Gata.
Yes, Gata. I see it.
What a life that would have been,
I know. But yeah, I mean, sororities are gay. Like,
They are.
they are.
Canonically. Like, there's that was another thing from my original presentation was just like finding all these pulp novels that were all based in like called lesbian sorority.
Yep.
And, like all the hazing.
It's a thing. It's true. All right, it's time for our Q and gay. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Q and gay.
All right, so here's the question leading from I was in a sorority, but question 1, were you in a sorority/fraternity? A, yes. B, I rushed but decided it wasn't for me. Or C, no.
C. No.
No.
Okay, question 2. Which Zeta is the gayest out of A, Natalie, B, Mona, C, Carrie Mae, or D, Harmony?
I'm gonna say Mona. I mean,
there's no wrong answer, but
But
you're right.
but Mona's the right answer.
Yeah.
All right, question number 3. Which month of the Zeta calendar is your favorite? A, Patriotic Mona, B, Bad Witch Harmony, C, Miss December, or D, Carrie Mae?
It's Carrie Mae. So funny.
Just trimming that bush.
Yeah.
Love her.
Pruning for June. Okay. Question 4. What's your ideal theme party? A, an ABC party, B, a Wizards party, C, an Aztec party, or D, a toga party?
So a wizard's party, is that where you make the wizard staff?
Yes.
Out of here. Okay. Okay. I was obsessed with the idea of an ABC party because I just thought like you could be so creative. And then if people showed up out of like theme, they just had to wear like a garbage bag or whatever. I just thought like what an easy way for everybody to so that's anything but clothes, but I've also seen one that's anything but cups and you have to drink out of like a boot or like
Oh,
like,
interesting.
little So I just think that there's a lot of versatility with an ABC party. So ABC.
Nice. All right, question number 5. What is your favorite? This is going to be hard to put on Twitter. I'm so sorry, Lee, but I just need to write it. What's your
we'll figure it
favorite
out.
house bunny ism? A, love is just kindness with its work boots on. B, the eyes are the nipples of the face. C, morning pooter, you're looking dapper. Or D, my heart would just fall out of my head.
It's actually D, but I really love B at that moment where it's like the eyes are just the nipples of the face. Is just such a funny
It's so good.
flip of that. I just think it's so good.
It's so good. So, as we all know, House Bunny should have been gay.
Should have been gay.
Should have been gay. Thank you, Sarah, so much for hanging out with us. I know you have to run, but before you run, please let us and our audience know, where can they find you on social media?
This is the question I dread every podcast I'm on because I've had a terrible handle for the entire time I've been on social media. Like when I was first on Twitter, I had the word, it was cute spelled out because it was Sarah K, but it was spelled CERA, like the Triceratops.
Yeah. Land before
that's
time.
awful. Yeah, but that's awful to talk about on a podcast and very difficult for people to remember and go look up. So I changed it and I thought it was going to be so much better. And it's Sarah Comedy, but the
With a
comedy,
K.
the K. Also very hard to, very easy visually, very difficult to spell out on a podcast. So it's Sarah K Comedy on both Twitter and Instagram. I gotta come up with something better.
You're doing your best. We'll also tag you on all our socials. And do you have anything coming up that you want our listeners to know about?
Yeah, I'm getting married like in over a week. Yeah, it'll be like September 24th is my wedding day. So I'm super excited to get to plug that on here.
Exciting.
Very exciting. So people can come. So you're inviting everyone to.
Yeah. This is the invite for everyone.
I just want everybody to be like aware that there's going to be like a bombardment
So we'll
of
see
pictures.
you there.
Yeah.
I'll look great.
Get ready for those pictures. Make sure you follow Sarah so you can see
Listen,
these amazing...
everyone's vaccinated now, and you think you can just drop that there's a wedding and expect us not to show up?
It's just a complete flash mob of like all these guys.
Cool.
What are you wearing for your wedding? Do you have what's the vibe?
You ready?
Aztec sacrifice outfit.
Yeah, you know. So we're doing a Friday night wedding, but we're also having a Saturday night like secondary event just to thank people for coming out for the weekend. So for Friday night, we're doing retro like 50s WandaVision dresses.
Oh my God, stop it.
For the next night, we're doing like suits. So we get like both we get to do.
Incredible.
Get you a girl who can do it all. So exciting. That sounds so fun. Congratulations on your wedding, and thank you so much for hanging out with us and talking about the best movie ever, Lee.
Look, I'm just saying I wanted more, that's all. You just like to make me be the asshole. It's fine. Anyways, thanks so much, Sarah.
Thanks, y'all. You're the best.
Let me hear you say hip, 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 yeah.
We love hearing from all of you. We love building this community, so we just like to shout out some of our favorite things every week. And this week, we want to start with shouting out everybody who came to our full listen party for The Flame. Whew! We did it was just over 2 hours listening to the entire show, start to finish, straight through. And I think the general takeaway consensus, Ellie, is it hits different.
Oh yeah, it hits different, and it hits like really hard in the feels. It is
something.
It's a really well done show from top to bottom. Surprise, surprise.
just brilliant craft.
Yeah,
like excellent.
It's so good. And if you do want to hear the entire thing of it, it is available on our Patreon from top to bottom on the Flame Patreon. But yeah, watching it with everyone was so amazing, and just like being able to really like sit with it after we had been sort of out of it for about a month, right? Like we had finished and then we had a month to sort of breathe, and coming back to it, I just felt so many feels. It was so nice.
It was like an old friend, and it was old friends, and it was so great being on the Zoom with everyone again, and it just made me real happy. So shout out to everyone who found time or who has watched the recordings on the Patreon afterwards. We had a lot of fun.
It was a blast. Speaking of Patreon, I would love to shout out Jackie M., who's one of our newest patrons. She recently found the podcast. She said she loves our Les Essentials and has been listening to them and watching with her wife, which we always love. And we've inspired her to create her own content, which is really exciting. And so she said she's going to start writing her own lesbian romance novel, and I cannot wait to read it.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Amazing.
I love it.
Please, please create more queer content, everyone. Please and thank you.
Please, yes.
And we also want to say a special shout out to Nora and Andrea. Congratulations to both of you, and we wish you all the best. And also, thank you to, as always, our Lesbian Jesus patrons, Mark Foster,
Jess Klaus,
Tanya Ferguson,
Jacqueline Rose Nishino,
Sarah and Julia,
Carrie Ann Lawrence,
Danny Gunlock Tamora,
Brittany Ray,
Alana Rosen,
Lizette Stye,
Stacy,
Adi Benitez,
and Fiona W.
And our King Princess patrons, Amy and Ellen,
Leah Henley,
Liz Chen,
and Julia Gonzalez. Thank you always for all of your support and your help, and to all of our patrons. We just could not keep making the podcast without all of you.
And remember, it's our Season 5 Patreon campaign, so let's make this thing happen. Remember, you can also find us on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at Let's Hang Out Pod.
You can email us at letshangoutpod@gmail.com.
Or check out our website at letshangoutpod.com.
Whatever app you use to listen to podcasts, make sure that you subscribe. That way you'll get new episodes as soon as they go up every week.
Also, make sure you subscribe to The Flame, an original podcast musical on your podcasting apps.
And speaking of subscribing, also subscribe to our YouTube, where we will have videos going up. Like always, you can find that at youtube.com/letshangoutpod.
If you want to support the podcast, the best and easiest way to do that is to rate and review us on iTunes. It makes a huge difference and helps new listeners find the show.
If you want to support us financially, you can find our Patreon at bit.ly/lespatreon. You get ad-free episodes. We have, as always, our favorite place on the interwebs, our Discord chat for our patrons. We have watch parties. We have downloads of all of our Les Essentials songs. It's just a lot of good stuff.
And as a reminder, at 150 patrons, Leah and I will actually make more episodes for you, which we're really excited about. If you want to support The Flame and any other musicals that we're creating in the future, because we will be writing another new musical for next June.
We are already.
We are in the process of doing it. You can support us at bit.ly/theflamepatreon.
If you want to buy our merch, we have all sorts of designs, both for Let's Hang Out and for The Flame. You can get them on totes, on shirts, on mugs, on masks, on all sorts of good stuff. And you can find all of them at bit.ly/lesshop.
If you want to find us individually, you can find me at Ellie Brigida on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
And you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at LSH Foster.
With that, I'm Ellie.
And I'm Lee.
And let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all, I'm JJ.
Hey, guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests to share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.